What's up guys, my name is Liam and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Tenta-X Oni's Oath glass pad. It's very obvious to me they put a lot of work into the release of this, and this is a glass pad that is on the faster end of the spectrum in terms of speed. So if you are somebody who does favor faster glass pads, you're going to want to stick around for this, as in this video I will be comparing it to some of the competition out there, letting you know how my experience has been with it so far, and hopefully by the end of this video I'll be able to help you decide whether or not this could possibly be the perfect glass pad for you. So let's check it out. And before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you'll be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. So when picking this up, you'll have two different options when you decide which version you want to go with. I believe they're going to have a standard edition. This right here is going to be the Volt X edition. And this is probably one of the most premium experiences that I've gotten with a glass pad. It does come included with this carrying case. It does feel great. It does have a rubberized handle up here in the top. And once you do open this up, there is a ton of foam in here to keep the glass pad nice and secured. It will be underneath this foam piece right here. You also do have these Velcro straps to hold it in place, but it does come with some additional goodies in here. It does come with this cleaning cloth, and it does have their branded logo down here in the bottom right hand side. It also does come with this really cool looking collector's card. And here's a better look of all these stickers that it does come included with. It also does come with some Unusual Way Sports Magic Ice dot skates. And then a really awesome touch here, it does come with this limited edition package of cards. So this does just have overall a very premium feeling to it, and the aesthetic on these cards, they just look really great. I'll go ahead and show you here really quick what some of these look like. The Jack on here, really awesome. There's what the Queen looks like, and then the King, and then I'll show you also once you get to the red colorways as well. That's what the Jack looks like right there. Queen, King, and yeah, really cool aesthetic. I think these playing cards offer a really cool and unique touch. All right, and here we have the pad itself. I think they've done a fantastic work with the art on here. I really love the colorways, how it has this dark background and these really bright colors. The red and the blue, I just feel like really make this pop a lot. It does have limited edition numbers up here in the top left-hand side, and their logo down here in the bottom right-hand corner. The dimensions of this coming in at 490 millimeters in width by 420 millimeters in height. The glass is very thin. It's at about 1.5 millimeters. The base will add an additional 1 millimeter on the bottom. So you're going to get a total thickness of 2.5 millimeters with this pad. For the base, this does have a full silicone backing from edge to edge, has been sticking to my desk nicely, and the edges on this are also nice and rounded, though I haven't really noticed them at all considering the fact that this glass is so thin. So when it does come to the surface of this, you're going to get obviously that typical glass feeling to it. Overall, it does have a pretty smooth feeling to the touch. I would say that you do notice just a little bit of a texture there. But when it does come to the performance, I've actually been testing glass pads out with a bunch of different skates recently. The ones down here on the bottom of this black mouse are these new skates from Wallhack, the UHMWPE, but I also have been trying other types of skates out on here as well. In my testing, this is definitely up there as being one of the fastest, not the fastest, but one of the fastest types of surfaces that I've tested. How this stands apart from some of the competition out there is I do feel like this does have a really low sense of static friction. And though I wouldn't say that the static friction on this is like very slippery, it definitely does have a very low sense of static friction, one of the lowest senses of static friction out there. I feel like a lot of these pads coming out, even if they're very fast, they do have a pretty decent sense of control. And this does have a decent sense of control, but like I said, you just pretty much have an effortless static right here as you're making your micro corrections. And then the dynamic glide across the surface, also going to be really quick. These dot skates right here do give you a little bit more of a controlled experience, so it does kind of slow things down. And I would say that just my typical experience with this pad, I feel like when I am using some bigger skates, I do feel like it almost makes it feel a little bit more slippery down in the micro corrections. For whatever reason, dot skates, I'm not sure if it's just more of a pinpoint accuracy. When you do push into the dot skates, I do feel like you get a little bit additional added control there, but just all around, like I said, really fast glide on this. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the comparisons with other types of things that are out there. All right, so how I'm going to do this, I'm just going to compare it to some of the most recent releases out there. We'll start out with the budget glass pad over here, the Singularity. I do feel like all around the Singularity does feel more like a balanced pad compared over here to the Oni's Oath. Just the glide on this one does feel noticeably a lot quicker when you are comparing these two next to one another. So really quick, I'll go ahead and drop a glide test comparison between both of these. All right, next up, when comparing it to the Beast has been one of my favorite types of glass pads out there. And I would say that the difference between both of these, there is a pretty noticeable difference there. The Beast does have a higher sense of static friction, so you do get a little bit more control when you are using the Beast. This one over here, again, even though I still get some pretty decent control, it does feel a bit more slippery. And I would say the performance between both of these, when it does come to dynamic glide, they honestly do feel really similar to each other in terms of the overall speed. The one difference, however, is when you are just actually using these, the Oni's Oath almost feels like it's a little bit quicker, considering the fact that it does have a little bit lower of a static friction. So let's go ahead and drop the glide test comparison between both of them. All right, then lastly, we'll just compare it to the Phantom over here really quickly. When it does come to the static friction on both of these, when I press into them and try and get some additional control, I do feel like on the Phantom, I'm getting a little bit higher sense of static friction, and I am able to gain a little bit of additional stopping power over here on the Phantom. The dynamic glide on both these, even though these are both really quick, I would say that the Phantom to me does stand out as just overall being a little bit quicker than the Oni's Oath. So let's go ahead and we will drop a glide test comparison between both of these. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up on the Tenta-X Oni's Oath. Again, really solid package here. The carrying case this comes with and everything. If you do pick up that Vault Edition, I would highly recommend it. Again, just the performance of this, the build of it, how thin it is, does feel really good. A little too fast for me on the static friction, but if you are somebody out there that does like the most effortless style of glide possible, definitely a real solid option out there, and I feel like Tenta-X has done a really fantastic job, which is the overall design and the performance of this package. And if you are interested in checking this out, this will be available on their website for pre-order this Friday, the 29th. So I will go ahead and leave links for you down in the description below. And if you guys do have any additional questions, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.